Welcome to Real Flix Reviews. We're like a book club for people who hate reading. This month we're doing guilty pleasures, so we picked the movie Con Air, made in 1997. This week we have Jonathan Charney, James Stevens, Ryan Pinball Preston, and special guest host, Jeff Michaels. So which one of you guys have the description of this movie?
It looks like me. A newly released ex-con and former U.S. Ranger finds himself trapped in a prisoner transport plane when the passenger sees control.
And that explains about the first 9 minutes of the movie.
Well, I haven't... No, not even the first 9 minutes. That didn't cover the first 9 minutes.
But it's basically the whole
How is he
plot.
trapped when he chooses to stay? There's no trapped.
Well, no, he's trapped because he's Mr. Ranger. He has to do good, yet he's in
trapped.
jail.
Well, it's morals.
Can't leave a
No,
fallen
that's
man behind,
conflicted. That's not trapped. That's conflicted.
Okay, Mr. Thesaurus.
No, that's just common sense. I don't need a thesaurus for common sense.
But it's also Nick Cage, so...
Yeah.
I mean, come on. We all know he couldn't act his way out of a wet paper bag. I mean...
I don't know. Have you
well,
seen
I
Season of the
think
Witch?
it started to get decidedly worse over time. This was kind of right at the end of his heyday.
Here's my question. What accent did he think he was using? Because every accent he uses is exactly the same.
I don't know.
Well,
I thought it was
the funny
retarded.
thing about his accent. He actually went to Alabama to, quote-unquote, perfect his accent.
Wait, that's perfected?
Yeah, that's what I said. I mean, he must have had about 20 minutes in the airport.
Where did he go?
that.
Did he go all the way out into the back boondocks where they can't speak English at all?
No, what it is he went to Piggly Wiggly to grab a soda, and that was his... that was his few minutes of training.
I love the fact that he sounds, not too bright, but yet we're trusting him to save the world.
Unfortunately, he normally sounds like that. I mean, that's not...
Right? It's like someone from Walmart coming out going, "Don't worry, guys, I got this."
Yeah. Matter of fact, I think
exactly.
I think people of Walmart.com was made specially for him. So here's...
Wow.
Okay,
all right.
Well, look, all joking about Nick Cage aside, I love this movie. I mean, there's a reason I picked it as a guilty pleasure. For one, something about the mid-'90s to late '90s and action movies was the perfect mix of practical effects, special effects, halfway decent acting. All the great character actors were in these movies. I love Cole Meany. I was watching him as a kid in Star Trek.
Yeah, I agree.
But,
this was the second movie I remember seeing him in besides Under Siege that I was like, oh sweet, he's doing other things besides Miles
exactly.
O'Brien.
He's one of those people that you're just excited. Oh, this guy's doing his thing again. And same thing with the likes of John Malkovich, Steve Buscemi, Ving Rhames, Dave Chappelle. You know what I mean? Even Danny Trejo, who wasn't a big name back then, but was starting to. I mean, I think this was actually one of his breakout things, but he was a memorable character.
Yeah, I like him.
Dusk Till Dawn as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I gotta say, because two of my favorite characters are John Malkovich's roles and Steve Buscemi. Those are my two favorite characters.
Yeah.
I agree. They're the most
ones
fun.
whose acting sort of transcends the terrible writing.
Well, I think it was also the character they played, because John Malkovich, as Cyrus the Virus, was... obviously smarter than everybody. I love the pacing, the way he says everything. I always wanted a Cyrus movie.
He actually, during the filming of this, he apparently got pretty pissed off all the time, just because they kept rewriting his scenes, so he never really knew exactly how to play it or how it was really going to come out at the end. So I think he just played it a little more sadistic.
That kind of explains why the character kind of changes randomly.
Yeah, that probably that
absolutely. Well, there was a lot of rewriting done on this kind of thing. Apparently, the guy who wrote Die Hard with a Vengeance, I think the second Die Hard, Jumanji, he ended up coming in and kind of punched up the script a little bit.
That explains a lot. Have anybody seen Die Hard 3? It's not exactly a terrific movie.
Oh, don't you dare say that.
Or what are you gonna do? Come on.
He's gonna come out and monkey slap you.
Everybody throws the first one as the best one. I'll give it the best as the genesis of the idea. But the third one, I mean, just the fact that Sam Jackson was doing the same thing with them,
Sam Jackson plays the same role in every movie.
But that's what they hired him for.
I don't know. Caveman
Hey, Sam
Valentine?
Jackson, do Sam Jackson.
Okay.
I'm sure in the script it said we need a Sam Jackson type.
I mean, you got Caveman's Valentine, where he didn't really play the same thing. You got Formula 51, where he goes running around a skirt.
Yeah, you get to see a black man in a kilt.
And I can name a couple roles where he didn't play exactly the same character. I like the character he played in any of them, but it's different.
I'm pretty sure those movies were followed by really big paydays.
And then what the hell was the name of his character in the Star Wars?
Mace Windu.
Thank you.
How the hell did you know that?
Because I love Star Wars.
Exactly, and he loves the prequels.
I just really love that purple sword, man.
Wait, can we have a moment of silence for somebody who likes the prequels?
Wait, hold on.
I didn't say I liked the prequel.
Wait, hold on.
I liked the
You can address
story,
that.
just
Go
not
ahead.
the execution.
Let me get this straight. So you like the purple sword, huh?
I was making a joke.
No, I think that was
For,
a Freudian
Luke
slip.
Skywalker's
I heard you swallow pretty hard on that one, Ryan. I mean,
Yeah, he got a little lump in his throat.
so
Oh, Jesus. Where are we going with this?
so
Okay, back to Con Air.
let's steer this massive non
Enough
sequitur.
with Samuel L. Jackson's purple sword.
Oy vey. So the one question I have is that random guy who was landing on the con plane.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to his character? Did he just keep running? Did they ever show him again?
I mean,
thought he
you look at
died.
a certain point, I'm sure you just kind of stop, realize everybody probably left, and then start walking back.
I thought he died.
I don't remember.
Did he
Which-
not die?
Well, when
Which
they
one?
took off and they were
long-haired,
flying overhead, you still see him running
pilot
in that
guy.
same direction.
He was.
So, you know.
No, he was right. He was driving the fire truck.
That's right. Yes, he did. And then he
was driving
hacked
Cyrus
the top
and,
and he squirted down on him. Yeah, basically drowned him with a fire hose.
and then he
I don't know.
exploded.
Yeah. That was another thing. Okay, I'll get to that one. Okay, John, do you have more points that you want to bring up?
That's pretty good. I do say that I think this movie has one of the best conversations in movies in a long time. If you take a look at the conversation between Steve Buscemi and Nick Cage.
What,
Yeah.
the dialogue?
The
dialogue when
between
they're
the
sitting in
two.
the plane. Yeah, I agree
Yeah.
with you on that one. That was one of the points I was going to bring up.
Any scene between Nick Cage and Steve Buscemi is almost Tarantino-esque in some ways.
Really,
Yeah.
the dynamic between them is so funny to me.
Yeah, because my favorite part was the defying irony. You know, a bunch of idiots in a plane dancing and singing to a song with a band died in an airplane.
Yeah.
You know what's
To a band
really
that died there.
ironic about that? The plane that they died in was called the Convair, spelled Convair.
Yeah.
That I didn't know.
Basically, Con Air with a V in the middle of it.
So your turn.
I was
then.
going to let
Jeffrey.
Jeffrey.
Jeff.
I was thinking that we could have him do his points first, but you jumped in, so because I wanted to
Okay.
see where he goes with
Okay,
it.
put me on the spot.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Let's see your little yellow piece of paper.
little piece of paper.
No, come on.
No, the favorite by far was definitely Buscemi's character.
The purple sword.
Yes, the purple sword.
Yeah.
I think Jeff has a new nickname.
How did I get the purple sword? That was Ryan, not me.
Because
And
that
I
was
would
something that
actually like
stood
to
out in
point
your mind.
I apologize to all Star Wars fans for not calling it a lightsaber. I realize.
You're really screwing things up here.
I
man.
was wondering if you were going to get to that.
All right. Anyway, so,
All right, so we got-
Buscemi's character.
Buscemi's character, I think anything he's in, he can carry the role perfect.
You see Trees Lounge.
Actually, no.
Okay. Anyway,
That's
go on.
amazing.
Directed by Steve Buscemi.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll check that
And
one out.
starred by.
Hey,
Buscemi.
don't hit the table.
I'm gonna hit the table more.
I'm going to mute you then. You're going to get a next half hour of just seeing his lips move.
Sweet. No, the one thing that I do gotta say though that really bugged me about the movie, and it's stupid, just because I myself am diabetic. The one character they had on the plane there, I forgot his name, but
Closer to the mic.
ABO.
yeah, they were freaking out. Go, oh, I need my insulin shot, and or I'm gonna die, or go into insulin shock. And I'm sitting here thinking, no, you're fine. You know, basically the only problem he had was, let's just put it this way: he would need to have eaten a large meal or a lot of sugar or something in order to have to need that insulin. I didn't see him eat the whole damn movie, so he's fine. All right.
He did eat one of those pink snowballs.
Oh,
Yeah, but that was early.
early in the prison before he even left to go on this plane.
I'm just making up. Yeah.
It's a slow burn.
Just saying maybe he found a stash and you know.
Now, granted, I'm arguing a point over Con Air, which 90% of the film is technically impossible.
Oh yeah, well I mean I love the little goofs in this thing. Well, for example, you can't on the ground you can't steer a plane with the stick.
No,
Steer it with
it's
your
foot
feet
pedals.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's foot pedals.
So I mean, you know, it's full of those little inconsistencies, and you know, but that's what makes these dumb '90s action movies so endearing.
You know, it was enjoyable. I had a good time watching it. It definitely wasn't something I had to put my brain to work for.
But it's a
Hell
Nick
yeah.
Cage movie. When's the last time you had to put your brain in gear with a Nick Cage movie?
Well, it's like I was a ferret or something, and somebody, you know, hung a piece of jewelry in front of my face. They said, "Ooh, shiny." You know?
Pretty much.
That's about as far as I went with it. It wasn't like, you know, that has a deep, profounding meaning. It really changed my life.
Well, there is one spot that I wanted to discuss is the Steve Buscemi part at the end, towards when the little girl was still alive.
Uh-huh.
What did you think that meant? Anything?
It meant
I
Well,
think you read way
Yeah, I
into
think
that.
I think
Well,
it was
not-
referring to just the scene with the when they were singing together when she's like, "Are you sick?"
Well,
He's
no,
like,
because
why do you ask?
Well, the scene after that, when they're taking off, that little girl was still there, but without the Barbie doll. And I've heard a couple of discussions about what that actually meant.
see
And this is a
I
'90s.
don't think I read too much into that.
I think John did, and whoever else he's conferring with on this
Well,
one.
it's a '90s movie, so you never know if they try to, you know, put
But-
something.
But you're kind of thinking about it as that, oh, this is him leaving his murdering,
Ways.
killing past behind because
This
he
is-
met a little
this is
girl
a-
that he wanted to kill but didn't want to kill towards the end of his relationship with her. Dude, they just played in an empty pool in some, you know, trailer trash, falling apart, dimsel
And
area.
moreover than that, this is a Bruckheimer production.
well, I also think
They
it's
didn't get that deep into it.
Yeah, that's all I'm kind of thinking. They just kind of wrote that in as a fun part to make you kind of a little bit more creeped out
Well, I
by
don't-
Shea Maker's
And a
character.
little more, you know, a couple redeeming qualities towards Buscemi's
Yeah.
character.
well, there is no redemption there. They're making you like the worst, sickest possible person in that whole movie, and you're going,
Right.
"Hey, I like this guy."
Well, see, that was. I think.
Maybe he's not such a bad guy after all.
Well, I think that was the point.
Where'd my
actually.
cat go?
I think the point actually was that even though he was the sickest, dangerous person there, he seemed the most sane.
See, I
kind of agree with you on that one. I'll agree with you on that one. He was the most sane out of all of them because he was basically not joining in the shenanigans that they had going on. He was just kind of relaxing and watching everything.
plus I don't think he was a child killer.
Actually, he did say that he did
Yeah.
cut
He-
some little girl's face off and wore
Or is it a hat?
as
Well, he didn't
drove
say
it.
little girl.
No, he
just
didn't
said
say little
one
girl. Now,
Did he say woman or girl?
I'm
I thought
thinking
he
said
he was
girl.
like, I'm thinking he was like that dude that snapped at work, you know, kind of guy.
like a Michael
Because
Douglas.
yeah, like
it was
falling
saying he
down?
killed
Well,
like 30
there was
people or
the
something,
scene
right?
when he was explaining, you know, how Dahmer and Gacy did it because they had excited them. That
Yeah.
seemed to be his sort of proclivity.
Oh,
that's
okay.
true. That's a good point. I don't know. I don't think he was. I don't think that whole little girl scene was him kind of trying to be redeemed as a character. I think it was more like what Jeff was saying, is that they were giving you a little something extra to like this character, who was basically the only character besides Nick Cage who got out of there free.
and you're
And one
happy
more
about
thing.
it at the
Yeah.
end too. You're
Yeah.
like, "Yay,
Yeah,
serial
so I think
killer's
it was.
loose."
I think it was more kind of giving you something to cheer for at the end of the movie.
Or
because
you know,
I mean,
some
Nick
little
Cage
pit in your
character
stomach,
really
like,
didn't
oh, I
redeem
hope
himself.
he didn't kill the girl, and then he didn't
Yeah.
kill the girl. But look, this discussion right now, I guarantee you, was more thought
Oh yeah.
than anybody else ever put into this.
You wouldn't have been able to like him in the end of the movie if he was sitting there and had like the Barbie's head in his pocket. You know, it's like he pulls it out.
worn around his neck like a
Trophy.
Flavor
Pulls it
Flav
out and it's got a
chain.
little girl's finger attached to it.
My God,
Wow, you guys are really.
I'd love to see your version of this movie, James.
Con Air.
Well-
James cut.
Yeah.
no children.
Twice
Oh,
as
you got
much
more?
blood.
You got more? Do you want to bring up?
Why?
Not you. I wasn't talking to you. Shut up.
Oh, okay. Well, go ahead.
Other than the fact that it was just brainless enjoyment, no, not really.
All right. Well, I'll let Ryan go. Mejor.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. There is one more thing
Oh,
I'd like
okay.
to bring up. He
I
should
moved
go
on.
back to jail in the end of the movie. Because, okay, you got Cage. He's like, I'm a good guy, and he's gonna beat everybody. But then this guy jumps on a cop bike, steals the cop bike, chases after a runaway fire truck,
Speeding.
and destroys like thousands of dollars worth of
Probably hundreds of
Las
thousands of
Vegas,
dollars.
And a
and
part of
probably
it-
killed 30 people in the process,
and a
they're all like,
causeway.
yeah, and then he gives his daughter this dirty sewer bunny.
Yeah, you
know?
don't want to know what the ghost convicts did to that bunny.
Right? Because I
Make a
do
move
like
and the
how.
bunny gets it.
Well, I do. I
Let
like how
the
you're
bunny
looking at
go.
You're looking at the rabbit. It's floating down towards the sewer, and he grabs it.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, good."
As
and
it's
then
going
he
in
gives
the
it to the
culvert.
daughter. He gives it to his daughter, and you're going, "That looks like a dry bunny." And he just looks down at it and goes, "Oh, it's a little dirty," and rubs it on his shoulder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure his daughter understands the principle of the thing,
Right.
I don't know how many of the audience members or you guys have actually walked down the strip of Vegas. That street is dirty.
Oh, of course.
Oh, yeah.
It's
That
Vegas.
street is
Yeah,
filthy.
it didn't
You
have
don't
to
want
go
to
down
take
the sewer to
anything
be
out of the
completely
gutter and give it to a little child.
Especially in Vegas.
Here's some STDs.
It's the hepatitis bunny.
Look, mommy, a lollipop. No, honey, that's a syringe. Put it down.
That's Vegas.
That's Vegas, baby. All right, Ryan, you're up.
Well, okay, like Jeff said, I love this movie because of mindless thing. You don't have to turn your brain on at all. You look at the pretty pictures and you smile. You know what I mean? You laugh. If your brain is on at all you're noticing is the little, mistakes and things like that, which even make the movie a little more enjoyable, which to me has the repeat watch abilities, I love, well, actually, I really just love the sayonara line, that I could just watch that over and over again.
Oh, speaking of lines, hold on, I gotta interrupt you. That line where he looks at diabetic dude. I'm sorry, I forgot his name. Diabetic guy. and he
Just
goes-
whatever.
he goes,
Baby-o.
Yeah, he looks at him and goes, "I'm gonna show you God does exist." And I'm like, "Oh my God, God is Nicolas Cage." It all makes
We're
so
all
much
screwed.
sense now.
We're all screwed.
He's got long hair. He's skinny. He saves the world.
Yeah, but in that scene, he looked like he was going to rape the guy more than preach to him. I mean, come on.
Oh God.
No,
Yeah,
that guy
was
was
bad.
stuck in the cage.
Johnny 23.
Right?
I got to say, I
They call
love...
him Johnny 600 if they knew the truth.
Oh jeez.
Wow. I got to say, I still love the way Cyrus died in this movie.
Really? I thought that was the cheesiest part. It was just like random, I'm going to crush your head. The guy randomly lands in this exact position and then the thing falls on his head.
That's why it's the best part. It's just like, what? It's like the whole movie. How do you randomly find something that does that?
My favorite part of that whole thing is like all of a sudden he just gets launched and you're like, okay, he's okay. And then he goes through the walkway and you're like, okay, he's okay. He hits the all of a sudden the power lines. No, he's still okay.
Still okay.
And then all of a sudden he gets wheeled up to this falling, crushing pillar of death. And you're like,
Right.
And
no, he's not okay
It's kind
anymore.
of like an oncoming train, You just step to the right instead of, I don't know, standing there.
I don't know if he goes through the sky walkway. Maybe it broke his spine. He couldn't move.
Well, he was handcuffed to that ladder when he got launched through that window, so I'm sure it ripped his arm off.
Right? They didn't show that. The rapist dude, yeah, his arms were chilling in the plane, but
What? That
That's
was
what I'm
just
saying.
one.
I
It
mean-
was just one dangling there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
yeah. But there wasn't one arm dangling on the fire truck there.
True.
Yeah, but I loved the like James said. I mean, just the he's just a little dirty. It's still good. It's still good. It's just a little airborne. It's still good. It's still good.
Right?
It's gone.
Totally Simpsons quote there. Good job. I'm proud of you.
I loved the nope. He still might make it out in some kind of A-team sort of situation. We can't leave anything to chance, so let's obliterate his head, and then everybody will know for sure. It's like I was thinking he was dead when he got launched through the window, dude. So you could have called it a day after that.
I like the fact
But,
there was no blood in this movie. Like the scene where the arm was hanging, it was completely dry.
Right.
There was
yeah.
no blood
That's
in this
all on the
movie.
floor.
Yeah.
It reminded me of the Jurassic Park arm
Yeah.
But
Where they
I
drained you
I
the
wanted to
blood.
say real quick. When I first said I was going to do Con Air, I was going through a bunch of guilty pleasures. I was going to pick Red Dawn. I was going to pick like 1 through 3 on the Mighty Ducks. You know what I mean? Just
Ugh,
random things. I ended up settling on this one because I think I watched this more than anything else.
Now, was it
But,
Red Dawn or the remake?
Yeah, that's what I
The-
was
the
curious
original.
about.
Oh, the original.
The original,
Okay.
definitely the
There you go.
original.
Yeah.
Don't even get started on the remake. That's another day. But the
Koreans
soon
are
as I
coming. The
picked
Koreans
Con
are
Air,
coming.
I started thinking of the first thing that popped into my head was the Leanne Rimes song.
Which one?
The How Do I Live song was in the opening and at the end.
Oh yeah, I think I peed a little.
Yeah, that song. That thing was stuck in my head the entire week.
Oh,
See, I just
couldn't
howled.
get it out for the life of me. I'm driving in my van at work, and I'm singing it in my car to myself, like, oh my god, I gotta get the song out of my head.
Did the
Oh my god,
cadaver
that'd be
anthem?
crazy. So you're at work, right? You could just literally set the person you're transporting up in the seat next to you and sing that song the whole way. How do I
Now-
Look lovingly into their cold, dead eyes.
now I know what I'm getting you for Christmas, Ryan. I'm getting you the soundtrack, or at least that song.
The single. Interesting thing about that song. That year, it was nominated for an Oscar for Best Original Song. That same year, it was nominated for a Razzie for Worst Original Song.
Wow.
Never happened before, never happened since.
It scares me that you know any of this.
That's what I'm kind of thinking. Like, how do you know that? Did
I
you
looked
look
it up.
that up, like, right now?
He's
Or
like-
did you know that, like, 20 years ago?
He's like, no.
I wrote it down.
You wrote it down and kept it snuggled
It
up
was
to
in
your
the
heart
notes.
for 20 years?
I'm just saying, like, I was looking up
You slept
interesting
with it
things about
underneath
the
your
movie, and
pillow?
I thought that was interesting, so fuck off, all right? I was just trying to bring something.
It's right next to his notes where he keeps all the musicals.
Oh, jeez.
I have another interesting fact on my little slip of paper here. The Jailbird plane that they were flying, the movie and the one that was also filmed on the ground, it's had a bunch of different owners since the movie. But recently in 2010, crashed into a mountain, killing the crew.
Well, that's a buzzkill.
Yeah, I know, right? But I'm just saying, I mean, that plane actually stayed in existence, and then
Killed
crashed into
a bunch of people.
Out of all the planes to not make it to like the just retire and put it in some hangar somewhere, that's the one that crashes into a mountain.
Why would they put it
Thought
in a
that was
hangar
kind of
anywhere?
ironic.
That movie wasn't good enough to retire the plane.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, you know, somebody wanted to fly that thing around. But what's it called? Actually, during the filming of this, there was a special effects specialist that was killed actually making this movie. They dedicated the movie to him.
Really?
Yeah, one of the some rigged plane that they had doing something like fell and crushed him.
It was probably the end scene in Vegas would be my guess.
You know, no, I was kind of thinking he was
Yeah.
probably Nick Cage stunt double. Anyway,
talking
well,
about
don't-
Nick Cage does his own stunts.
Well, his ego
Yeah.
does it. So, okay, Ryan, what do you give this
oh
movie?
no, I didn't even say nothing.
It
Jackass.
you go.
accent stunts.
Okay, you go.
Okay, I agree with you guys. Buscemi's character was one of my favorite ones. He's in there. You know, I don't know. I think, like you kind of said, you know, John Malkovich's character was a really good character. But after Ryan kind of explained why he seemed like all over the place, because he seemed bipolar in this movie, dude. He really did.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, after he kind of explained that he was having issues with the director and the writers, you know, always changing what he was supposed to do, that does make sense. But I also think the bipolarness really adds to how crazy that character was actually supposed to be.
And I think the anger he was, too, because that
Yeah.
really added to the character.
Yeah, because there was a couple scenes where he just kind of like totally went nuts, like angry, and he probably was really pissed off, considering that he was getting screwed with.
He had some great lines, though. Like the scene where he was walking the wing, you know, talk about why does Nick Cage want to save the cops, and he's like, you know, talking about how his hatred to his particular proclivity to hating cops is as penal
Well,
lord.
yeah.
That whole scene was just really well written.
Yeah, there was actually surprisingly a lot of pretty well written monologues mentioning, you know, Buscemi sitting there kind of talking about, you know, the irony, and there was a couple other ones where he was also kind of trying to analyze Malkovich's character and Ving Rhames' character. I thought that was pretty well done. The thing that really always takes away from this movie for me is actually Nick Cage's character. I got to be honest. That character right there with that horrible accent, just the random kind of like he's badass, but he's got a sensitive side. Don't mess with my bunny, type thing. It's like, really, dude.
Speaking of the bunny, I think that should have been Cyrus's death somehow, like, because he made fun of the bunny. Remember that scene?
Okay. So
he should have died by bunny. He should have been.
He should have had the bunny shoved down his throat and suffocated on the bunny. Here you go, little girl.
Sorry on my daughter's happiness.
Poor hepatitis rabbit.
Hepatitis rabbit. Yeah, that's what it was. The bunny
and then
was
he can give
coated
it
in
to his
sugar.
daughter. And then he can give it to his daughter. I'm just spreading the love, Chuck.
Anyway.
Oh, so many
That's
jokes.
horrible. That's horrible.
The end of the movie, Cyrus is holding the bunny as a hostage. Nick Cage has to shoot through the bunny.
Put the bunny down.
The other thing that was really distracting to me was the random things that blew up. Because there's the bike that John Cusack's on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he hops off, and all of a sudden that bike goes boom. And then,
Well,
Nick Cage is on the
if there's
bike,
one thing I've
and then
learned
he
from
hops off
movies
the
is
bike.
Every vehicle is packed with C4.
No, hold on. But John Cusack's bike was the exploding bike. Nick Cage's bike, when it went down, it didn't blow up.
Nick Cage is God.
So it was kind of like, really, you have one bike that blows up, the other one goes down and it doesn't blow up. I want both bikes to blow up. Consistency, guys. Consistency.
Well, it's not Michael Bay, so it's not like explosions.
But they managed to
it's-
blow everything else up.
He didn't have an
It is still the
exploding
90s, so there is still those kinds of, gratuitous, let's blow shit up for the sake of blowing shit up. But, I mean, they actually did this. They filmed it in 96 when they were just destroying the Sands Hotel.
Oh, okay.
And it just happened to be
So the
sort
plane
of
helped.
gratuitous for them that they were able to sort of get there while they were destroying Las Vegas, essentially, and were able to film part of it.
I would have liked to seen Nicolas Cage replaced by the bunny.
Oh,
I think the bunny could
would
do a
cool.
much better job.
With the
Cruising
same-
around in a bunny suit like Donnie Darko.
Yeah.
Oh, that just blew my mind. That movie would kick so much ass.
No, what you got to do though is
Bunny
you
butt.
got to have them with just remove Nick Cage and have all the audio the same.
With just the bunny.
Just the bunny.
Well, that would explain the bad accent.
It would actually, you know what? At that point, it would probably fit. It wouldn't be a bad accent. You'd be like, I believe this bunny.
Yeah, but
the
does-
hepatitis rabbit for the win.
But does the bunny wear the horrible cowboy boots too?
No, you gotta draw a line somewhere.
Okay, good.
It's just wearing spurs.
We're trying to better the movie.
There is actually a series. I think it was the Stars Network that does the 30-second renditions of movies with bunnies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
They
I've
do
seen
like
that.
Jaws with bunnies.
they probably did Con Air.
They almost have to at this point.
So all in all, I mean, the movie, like Jeffrey said, is it's a no thinking movie. If you put thought into it, you're not going to enjoy it. If you shut your mind off and basically drink a shot every time Nick Cage talks, you're going to enjoy the movie.
Well, before you die.
Well, I mean, you're not going to make it to the end.
So James,
Yeah.
what was the woman's perspective?
She actually really likes this movie. She does. She enjoys this movie. She was happy you actually picked it. So there was kind of
Awesome.
like a little bit of shock there. Like, really?
The fifth member of the Real Flix Reviews.
Out of all of these movies we picked, you get excited over Con Air.
Awesome.
Not everything is illuminated. Con Air.
I know I've told you this before, but you picked a good one.
Yeah, but the reason why is she also loves the song. The Leanne
of
Rhymes
course-
song
of
that
course
you're
she
in
does.
there. And she was actually had to go in the other room to take a phone call. So she was in the other room when the song came on. I was just sitting out there howling to the song. And she goes out and goes, "You were howling to the song." Yes, I was. Loud enough for you to hear, by the way.
Okay, James. So what's your score for this?
2.
Seriously?
Yeah, 2.
Wow.
I'll give it a 3. It was a little bit more enjoyable.
What about you, Ryan?
I think he's still
3
butthurt.
based
He said
on
2.
just the character actors alone and the 90s style of making movies. Good special effects, good characters.
See,
stupid,
even
stupid
based off the
writing.
characters, I can't go above a 2.
You see, I like this movie, so I have to give it a 3.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
I understand your two, James. Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
but,
Like, am I alone here in my two thinking?
Well, no, you know
There's-
what? I agree with your 2, but I'm giving it 3 just because it's something I would watch again.
yeah.
He's,
Okay.
in,
No-brainer,
he's in love with Nick Cage.
But it's, and I can't stand Nicolas Cage. But for
He's
some
lying.
reason, the movie is completely enjoyable. You know, you can kick back, you can watch it, and it's just like, all right,
See,
this is a good
I
time.
guess this is where we're going to have to draw the line. I mean, I can watch this movie maybe every 2 years, maybe one, at least
Every
once.
6 months for me.
Because I would just get sick and tired of it. And I mean, there's some things that are redeeming, like John Malkovich, Nick Cage, not really Nick Cage at all, but John
Buscemi.
Malkovich's character, Buscemi's character is really good.
Even Chappelle's character. Did
yeah,
a good
I
job.
enjoyed Chappelle's character in there, even though it was short-lived.
Right.
I bet he had better things to do. He's getting more money off of doing tours, I guess. I don't know.
he realized it was Nick Cage. And he's like, I'm not sure if I want to be in this.
Actually, you probably heard his accent and was like, "Can you guys write me out pretty soon?"
So Ryan, this is the part of the show where Ryan gives us the movie news. And what do you have, Ryan?
I got just a couple of random things. Well, first, this was the weekend that Man of Steel came out and did some damn good domestic numbers at like 125 million.
It's
just
a
for
record.
for the weekend.
Yeah,
I wanna
Another,
see that one.
90 for overseas.
90 million
So
overseas.
Yeah, and
that's not
something
too
like
bad.
that. But this
Was that in
this
the
one's
UK where
definitely
he's
gonna
from?
be gonna be good, and they're already talking about the second one, who should be the next villain and whatnot. But,
Okay. I want to see the the Megapixel guy or whatever.
Mixelplick?
Yeah,
Mixelplix.
Mixelplix. Yeah, that'd
or
be cool.
Mixlexplex.
Yeah, whatever his name is. I can't think of it right now. I can't see the spelling, so I can't say it.
Right?
But that would be a cool character to bring in. Randomness.
I'm not quite sure if you could. That would be a weird movie.
That would
that
be it.
character pissed people off when it came out in the cartoons. I can't even imagine what it would do if it was in a movie.
Dude, if
Dude,
they
I'd
do
go
it,
see it.
if they do it, they gotta have Jonathan. Was it Jonathan Warwick? Willow?
Okay. I was thinking
Oh,
more
yeah.
like, yeah, okay, yeah. Well, if you're going for midgets, you guys do Elijah Wood too.
Well, I was okay. Speaking of midgets, brings me to my second one.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
Yeah,
Hobbit,
midgets.
The Desolation of Smog is the second edition of the Hobbit trilogy.
Wait, is this The
that they turned
Hobbit
it
in
into.
LA?
Now, I bloody loved the first one. I thought that was
And
I
I
was
would-
really upset when they said they were doing it in 3 parts. I'm thinking, how the hell do you turn what in the 1970s, it took them 70 minutes in a cartoon to tell the entire thing, and they're going to stretch it out to 9 hours. So I didn't see how it was possible. After watching the first one, I see how it is possible, and I'm looking forward to it.
Because they
But
added stuff that was part of the Silmarillion and part of the backstory,
Right.
and they just made up a few things. So I mean, it's
Sure.
not.
and it had a lot of layers and a lot of really interesting layers. So I was in. But so the reason I bring this up though is they just put out a 6-minute featurette trailer
Really?
for the new movie.
6
I'll have
minutes.
to check that out.
This is
wow.
and not necessarily bringing this up to talk about The Hobbit, but just the idea of the 6-minute trailer that's coming out seems like with every movie. It seems like especially with the Man of Steel, these big blockbuster summer blockbuster movies always have 15-20 minutes of the movie out before the movie even comes out. I mean,
right. You've seen all the good parts. They just
Exactly.
show you everything
So,
that's good. That's
I mean,
gonna
I'm the
catch
kind
your
of
eye.
person who tries to avoid this stuff in the first place, but I mean, at a certain point, damn. Thoughts.
I like going into a movie blind, personally. If you give too much away, it kind of leaves a point of surprise for me. There's no.
You're constantly
I like-
looking forward to that point or expecting that point at every turn.
Yeah, and then
I-
it ruins the movie because you've either expected it this way or that way.
I
Right.
like trailers, but I think there's a point where some movies that are poorly made put all the good parts in the movie. My problem is I can generally tell if I'm going to like the movie by the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
So some movies I don't watch because then I realize I'll probably hate it and then I'll be right.
Yeah, well, that's something
But
as
at the
well.
same
but
time, I mean, the people that get their hands on these trailers, the way they cut them together and everything might not even necessarily be indicative of how the movie, I mean, it might show you how it looks, but the feel of everything, it's not like it's up to the filmmaker to have the feel of the trailer. It's just marketing.
But
and just this extended marketing is just driving me crazy.
But my thing is if you have a movie such as like Man of Steel, where it's a 2.5-hour movie, or The Hobbit, and this new one coming up, they don't have how long that movie is going to be, but I assume it's probably going to be pushing 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has to.
If you take 15 minutes of each one of those, you're not covering any amount of the movie, really.
Right, but at the
So
same
even
time,
if you do cram it with action packedness in the flick or in the trailer, you're not going to be seeing much of the acting or much of the story. You're just going to be seeing like heads getting lopped off or heads getting
right,
popped.
but at the same time, I mean, everybody's waiting to see Smog. Okay, so if they show him in the damn trailer for 4.5 minutes, when you see him in the movie, you're not all excited and surprised like you would be.
So,
you know.
Yeah, I understand, but I agree with Jeff. I mean, most of the big blockbusters that I actually saw trailers for, or saw something of it, you get let down when you finally go to the movie.
did they actually show Smog
but
in the trailer?
what a 30-second trailer used to do was intrigue you to go see the movie.
Yeah.
Did,
I mean, there's
it
been some
left you
30-second trailers that I've seen that I'm like, I actually am going to go look that movie up.
the question, Ryan, is did they show Smog in the trailer?
I'm not sure. I didn't watch it. I don't. I can't.
Because I don't.
Like Jeff. I like to go into these things blind. I like to be on the
Surprised.
experience when I watch the movie. I don't. And another thing when
Shininess.
they're showing these epic fight scenes, especially like the whole time, like, oh, okay, so I know when they get to this particular location, this fight scene's gonna go down.
And you're usually looking towards those scenes. You're like, okay, when is that scene? Oh, is it going to be now?
You're noticing
Right.
you're noticing the plot points start to lead towards those scenes. You know what I mean? And you're like, oh, well, I know where this shit's going.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like, as I still have yet to see Star Trek Into Darkness, and I've seen so many of the trailers. You get flooded with them, and you're kind of like, I kind of want to go see it, but now that I've been flooded with everything, I need to wait until
I've purposely not watched any of the trailers for that one, just because I've kind of wanted to see it. The bad guy that's in that show, Sherlock. He plays Sherlock.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
I
I love Sherlock. Sherlock's great.
it was amazing.
And now they're coming out with the 3rd season of Sherlock too.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait.
And that's not too long from now, but I don't know. I think I don't know.
I'll be interested to see if they actually show Smog in the trailer. I'm gonna have to watch it to see it, because considering that's such a major plot point, I don't see them doing that. I mean, that's
they will probably either hint it, or like they did with Star Trek Into Darkness, where they just kind of show you a small snippet of it.
See, that's what I'm expecting. I'm gonna have to watch it
to lead into it.
I don't
or
see
to
them showing
tease you about it.
I could see a shadow or a little bit in this distance. I think if they actually show him, I think that'll be a bad thing to do personally.
Yeah. You got anything else?
Just one more thing that'll piss you off,
Sweet.
or I don't know. I'm actually curious on what your thought. Scorsese
Jackass.
No telling.
is he's doing a new movie. He's in pre-production on it. I think it's called The Wolf of Wall Street, and it doesn't have to do with actual wolves. So relax.
Well, I kind of figured that.
No, in fact, what's his face is in that. Sounds horrible.
Starring Leonardo DiCaprio, bringing him back. Matthew McConaughey and Jonah Hill.
Okay, but
McConaughey and
now
DiCaprio,
it's
really?
now here. Hold on a second.
And Jonah Hill.
It's based on a book.
Gay porn.
Now, the times that I've seen Scorsese do stuff based on a book, i.e., like Departed, it's executed pretty well.
Oh, Departed was crap.
Oh.
hey, I got somebody else. That's awesome.
Can you say
Okay,
no
Casino and
talent ass
Goodfellas.
clown? Sorry.
Now, I usually refer
How do you
those
really
names
feel?
for Shamalali Ding Dong.
How do I really feel? I really feel like I have Tourette's right now. That's
So, okay, hold on. Okay, wait. Now, my thing is, this is a New York stockbroker refuses to cooperate in a large securities fraud case involving corruption on Wall Street, corporate banking, world, and mob infiltration.
It sounds about as exciting as
The
changing your tire.
1980s Wall Street.
It's like
You
a
know what I
drama.
mean?
Okay, slow down a little bit, Ryan. You're cutting out.
Hello?
Speak.
Well, I
Sorry.
think
Go ahead.
There you go. All right. Anyway, so what were you saying about this? I mean, are these rumored actors? Because to be
they're not
perfectly
rumored.
honest, I do not appreciate how Scorsese gets DiCaprio to act. I really
Ladies
don't.
and gentlemen, sorry, we're having some minor technicalities, it looks like. So we're going to switch automatically into next week's movie, which our guest host of the week is going to pick.
Jones.
So what movie are you going to pick for next week?
Oh, I'm already picking it right now?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, fine. You put me on the spot, you're not going to like me at all. We're doing Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
So that's your guilty pleasure pick.
That is my guilty pleasure pick.
Okay.
Okay.
See, I would have gone different, but I was put on the spot. Yeah.
Well, that's fine.
I-
We've done that to each other a couple times.
Yeah,
Are you still there, Ryan?
Hello? Mark calling Orson. Mark calling Orson.
Nope, he's gone.
Oh, well, so looks like we're doing, was it Eternal
Eternal
Sunshine?
Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Yes.
What-
With Jim Carrey and Kate Winslet and
Yeah.
So what he said.
Kirsten
So
Dunst.
what he said.
Since I can't.
Watch the movie.
Just
So-
sit down and enjoy it.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I gave jeez. Ladies and gentlemen, I gave Con Air a 3. Ryan gave it a 3. Our guest host gave it a 3, and James gave it a 2. And we'll see you next week.
See ya.